Welcome to Carrow Road, where Norwich City have picked up their 5th Premier League victory of the season. That's not a lot of wins. You can forgive people sometimes for forgetting what it's like to win a game and what it takes to do so, or to see the game out, but Norwich have achieved it. The only goal here against Leicester came in this goal in front of the Barclay end. It was an overhit Max Aaron's cross that fell to Jamal Lewis, and as you will have seen, wonderful strike with the outside of his foot into the far post. It was fun watching it from the press box, actually, because it started so far wide of the post, but you just felt, hang on, this is going in, it's coming in, and just nestled inside the far post and beat a goalkeeper of Kasper Schmeichel's quality. So I think that says everything about it from Jamal. And there's definitely an argument of seeing Norwich with a better balance when they've got a natural left-sided left-back playing there, even though Jamal was sort of in and out of the game and in terms of influencing it positively. And Sam Byram's unlucky not to still be playing and was doing a very good job there, and is obviously injured. I have to say Max Aaron's on the right was outstanding, and there were a couple of times tonight where he got the sort of space that we only really saw him get in the Championship, and does kind of, to me, feel like that is an element of why Leicester have perhaps been quite good for Norwich to play in terms of how they set up and the spaces they give. But this was, and I know a lot of people feel that the game was poor and the quality of both sides was poor and this, that and the other. And I must admit, I didn't personally feel Norwich were playing that badly in the first half. I just felt it was maybe a continuation of the fact that they just haven't had enough quality to get themselves over the line or to create the chances they needed to create. But I enjoyed watching this game. It was full of tempo, incident, excitement, and a lot happened, and there was no shortage of endeavour from either side. And especially when Leicester went behind, the way they moved the ball around, I think quite clearly they missed Jamie Vardy tonight. But the way they were moving the ball from side to side, I don't even think Liverpool played at that tempo and purpose with the ball when they were here a couple of weeks ago. And I think only when Manchester City were chasing the game have we seen a team really move the ball that quickly and that well. Now, whether they were doing it to full effect is a different matter, but the way they were probing was very impressive. And I think it said all about the quality of the side Norwich played tonight, even though they weren't at their best, and they do have some issues in terms of their form and clearly sustaining what they were doing in the early part of the season. It would be fair to say that in total, Leicester haven't looked the side they probably are on the table in the 2 games against Norwich. I think Norwich can take a sizable amount of credit from that, because I do feel there's an element of how Leicester play that probably allows Norwich to show up better. But this is a great night for Norwich. They've got into the weekend first. We don't know what the other results will be, and ultimately Norwich's future is in their own hands, regardless of what everyone else does, although it clearly will play a part in it, certainly when we get to the point where there are fewer games. But that tonight is Norwich's first win in 4, first points in 4. It is another clean sheet. They've kept a few of those. It was their first goal from open play since New Year's Day, I think, off the top of my head. They're now 4 points adrift of safety if you look at it right at this moment in time. But I think what it's done is just given everyone some real belief. The noise in here was fantastic, and you can just sense when there is that element there for the fans to cling on to. It's a real energy. Norwich had 5 minutes of added time to see out tonight, and they did it in the Leicester half. I mean, it was probably the most control they had at any point in the second half, really. So, and they were given a huge boost by the supporters, who really willed them on all game. It was impressive, and it was brilliant to see, and it does really bode well that Norwich got a result like that here. They have won away from home already this season as well, and played quite well away from home. So there's enough elements in enough different areas. They've improved defensively. I think that's quite clear. There's enough there, and they create a lot of chances. So there's enough in different areas for it. If it does click, and Norwich do believe, and then maybe the other teams are a little bit more scared about the situations they're in, then it does provide a platform for Norwich to do something. But what they've got now is the spark. Everything depends on what they do from here on in, and how much they protect that spark and add fuel to it. So the game against Tottenham at the weekend is kind of a free hit, of course. The game against Tottenham in the FA Cup in midweek is a free hit. Norwich then go to Sheffield United, and we all know about the rivalry with Sheffield United. They certainly weren't the best team I've seen down here at Carrow Road this season, but they were one of the ones to leave with 3 points. So that's the sort of thing that Norwich are having to deal with. Just a couple of things from this evening. Emi Buendia was obviously back in the starting lineup, and I thought we saw what Emi is. You know what the negatives are. He's a high-risk player, yet the good things he does, no one else can do, and no one else can do it so well and so effectively. And anything that Norwich did well, he was generally at the heart of it. But you do just want him to cut out the other bits that put Norwich on the back foot or cause them issues. Some of those did come from Todd as well, but the work rate Todd put in to counter that, I was impressed by. And likewise, Kenny McLean didn't have his best night, and probably lucky not to get sent off with some of the tackles he was putting in. He probably wouldn't agree with that. But him and Alex Setti had to work really hard to kind of shield and protect the areas left by Max Aarons and Jamal Lewis when they did press on. And it was certainly a case of the fullbacks having more influence than, again, we've seen in other weeks. So that was good to see. Andre Duda, I thought, after being fairly anonymous at Wolves, linked the play really well, especially in the second half. And although he came off early, had a great chance that he probably should have scored, but he was in the right position and got the chance, and also created a wonderful dipping effort for himself that Kasper Schmeichel did well to save. So it was good to see Andre have a positive impact as well. But of course, so many things when you talk about this are sort of shone through the prism of 3 points and a win, because that's the light that reflects whether something's worked or not. And Daniel Farke has managed the game really well. The bringing on Lucas Rupp for Todd Cantwell about a minute or two before Norwich scored, that's a key moment. It looks like a fantastic piece of game management. It helps that it came a minute before Norwich scored, or whatever it was. So but it was one of those nights where things came off, and I'm certainly not undermining Daniel. That good credit for him to affect a game like that, and what he did worked, and that obviously that helps in terms of the dynamic of the game. Leicester are in an interesting position. As I said, I think they missed Jamie Vardy. I think they've got some phenomenal form that they're trying to back up over the second half of the season, and that I think was always going to be difficult. And the race or to stay in the top four, it will be interesting how that pans out for the rest of this season. But it was great seeing James Maddison back at Carrow Road for the first time since he's moved. He played really well, and in terms of linking the ball, and he's such a good footballer to watch. And he got a lovely reception. He kind of missed out on one probably from the Barclay because Daniel was doing his Olays, which was a bit of a shame, but I don't think anyone can doubt how much everyone enjoyed watching James play in a yellow shirt. He's well worth watching, of course, wherever he plays. But this is really all about Norwich, and we have the spark, we have the chance to progress. It's some genuine hope in front of 27,000 fans here tonight. It's all about what happens next, and I think at this stage of the season, with how everything's gone, everyone would want it to be better, but it does at least give some meaning to what comes over the next few weeks. And you wouldn't say Norwich have ever left it completely out of hope, even though there's been some phenomenally damaging results that have left you feeling at the end of the game that there wasn't any hope. They always gave you enough so that the next time a game arrived, you kind of thought, well, maybe they could still do it. Here we are again. We'll see how it all pans out from here. The one thing I haven't mentioned is the fact that Leicester did indeed, they started the second half very well. They had a real purpose to them, and I must admit at that point I thought they would kick on and win the game because of the quality they have and what they can do. They scored through Kelechi Iheanacho. It was a wonderfully taken goal. He did handle the ball in the build-up, and so as soon as VAR checked the goal, it was always going to get chalked off. I think everyone agrees that by the rules that is the right decision, but the problem is Ben Godfrey clearly also handles the ball in the same motion, and it's an inherent unfairness in the rule and that situation, and Norwich have benefited, which is very good, of course. But I don't know how long really that rule can continue in that manner, because it's just simply not fair. And But, you know, it was nice to have some cheers after VAR made a decision, because it hasn't happened very often. And as I tweeted during the week, I'm still annoyed about the goal chalked off against Tottenham down here over Christmas. So I don't know if VAR will ever make up for that one unless Norwich go and survive this season. Let's hope it happens. Leave a comment, leave a like. I'll always read them all and try and engage where I can. Thanks for watching, be it on YouTube, Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. And I'll see you at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for an FA Cup jaunt on Wednesday. I can't wait. The team selection will be very interesting. In the meantime, have a great weekend.